All right, apparently the Lions bring back Justin Coleman. I know he was supposed to come. Yeah, he was supposed to come off the IR list, I believe, after the bye. But I guess he back. I think he had a hammy as well, and a lot of the Lions players had a lot of injuries. But let's talk about Justin Coleman. Also, after the Vikings trade Yannick Ngakoue, will the Lions be buyers and sellers at the trade deadline? But let's talk about Coleman first. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. And I just think people seeing how important Justin Coleman was, and that nickelback position is just as important as anything. I mean, really, the New England Patriots, they really glorified the slot receiver. I think that's kind of with Julian Edelman. With Wes Welker and Julian, they just did a lot out the slot. Now, Peyton Manning had a hell of a slot receiver in Brandon Stokely. I just think over the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady, Bill Belichick era, that slot receivers become such a dangerous, very dangerous, man. That slot receiver has become. But we need Coleman. Even Darryl Roberts has done a really good job covering the nickel cornerback. So you got to give credit to him. He's done a solid job. With Coleman coming back, everybody said he was trash last year, which he gave up like the most yards per corner. But then again, you don't have no pass rush. If Coleman had a pass rush, Coleman probably be damn near the best slot cornerback in football. And he playing man like shit 98% of the time. It's just, a lot of people got to understand, that ain't how you play football. You got to be able to play zone. You got to be able to play man. You got to be able to call multiple coverages. You got to be able to get pressure. So Coleman coming back give us more depth. Now, if Jeff Okudah continued to struggle at the cornerback position, you might see a situation where Coleman might have to go inside or Roberts go on the outside. Coleman have to go on the outside, or Roberts slide back inside, or Coleman stay on the inside and Roberts go on the outside. Jeff Okudah is just struggling this year, and will he let this year define him is the question. Does he have the physical talent to play in the National Football League? What is he, 6'2", long arms, athletic enough? I think he got the physical tools to play in the National Football League. It's just that if he let this define him, then he'd probably be the next Morris Claiborne. If he continue to keep his confidence afloat, he's gonna be a great player. So I'm not too concerned about him at all. But remember, Coleman can play on the outside as well too. So that's something to look at as well. So hopefully, we don't need that. Hopefully Okudah get better and better. This week, it can get real bad for him with Calvin Ridley and Julio Jones and Russell Gage. They really three good receivers. And I think that's an understatement. I think Russell Gage has really kind of grown into a really strong receiver this season. And it's going to be an interesting battle. But when you're talking about looking at the Lions being buyers or sellers at the trade deadline, it all pretty much depends on, does Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia know that they coming back or not? That's the $1 million question. If they not coming back, and they not fired by the time, the trade deadline come, or if they don't have the insurance that they coming back, maybe you have to fire Patricia and Bob Quinn before the trade deadline to get stuff together, because if you don't fire them and you put the pressure on them, you got to win now. Well, if they make some trades that compromise, your draft next year, or compromise your team moving forward. So if the Lions are going to be sellers at the trade deadline, it's going to have to be the strength. It's going to be off the strength of them knowing they're not coming back or them being fired already. And that's just what it's going to have to be. If they know they're coming back, then they still kind of going to be buyers, because they know I'm gonna have to really, try to build a championship caliber team. But my question, should they be buyers and sellers? Patricia and Quinn should be fired no matter what. They should be fired if they lose this game this weekend. But if they continue to win, then really you're gonna be at the point where if they don't want to pay Kenny Galladay or other guys in the franchise, it's gonna be a situation where Kenny Galladay gonna walk, you get nothing for him, or you gonna franchise tag him and you gonna pay him close to $20 million anyway. Whatever floats your boat, you know. But the way I look at it personally, I would be sellers. You know, Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, I tell them you're not coming back no matter what. I'll probably fire them right now. You know, and then the way I look at it, I would fire them. And if I didn't know I didn't want to bring, you know, Kenny Galladay back, I would move Marvin Jones. If I get a 5th or a 6th or whatever I get for him, I'll move him. I'll move Amendola, you know, or cut him. You ain't gonna get nothing for him. You can cut him, let him go to Tampa Bay. Galladay, if I'm not gonna pay him, move him. Stafford, I mean, at this point, I don't know if anybody wants Stafford. Let somebody get injured now, like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers, and somebody just need to right the ship with a emergency quarterback. So Stafford just gonna have to play his contract out and play the rest of the year out in the Lions. Either he gonna retire, they're gonna trade him, or they gonna cut him. You know, that's just gonna have to what's gonna have to be with him. But they definitely should be sellers at the trade deadline. If they just gonna say, you know what, we're gonna move on with a new GM and new head coach, we're gonna be sellers. We're gonna kind of move on and be sellers, and we're gonna rebuild is what I'm looking for. If we're gonna rebuild, cool, rebuild. I don't think nobody should be mad at that. Rebuild. You know, I'm not mad at them if they do rebuild. They should rebuild. Time to get a quarterback. It's time to really tank. And Minnesota saying that we gonna tank. We gonna probably let the Lions whoop on us. We gonna let the Bears whoop on us. We gonna let Aaron Rodgers be whooping on us. And the issue with them is they just paid Kirk Cousins a 2-year extension. So even if you do get a quarterback, you got a high-priced quarterback unless you got some type of out in this contract. You got a high-priced quarterback that you still got to pay. You know, and that's very, very unfortunate. So even they go up there and get a quarterback, you got Kirk Cousins for what, another 3 years, 2 years after this season, I think it is. So the Vikings is just in a situation where keep Mike Zimmer and Chris Spielman until Kirk Cousins' contract is up. I told that they'd never win with Kirk Cousins. They probably could say we were never going to win with Matthew Stafford because in the situations we in, Stafford just don't have a good enough organization around him. Kirk Cousins was never good enough. You know, he never. So, you know, you in a situation where, you know, you got to beat out Jacksonville. You got to beat out the Minnesota Vikings for a quarterback next year. And if they don't get a quarterback next year and they keep Stafford again, this franchise is just running in place. Unfortunately, they have to fuck around and get a quarterback. No if, and they should have got one last year, whether Herbert or Tua. I like the Herbert more than Tua. You know, that was just my opinion on there, but, you know, the Lions are probably going to do what's in between buy and sell. They probably going to stay pat. And we have a history of letting people retire and letting people walk. They could have traded something for Ndamukong Suh and got something for Suh. They could have traded, you know, Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders. Let's get instead of getting nothing for them guys. It just didn't make no sense. And, you know, we in this organization where, you know, they got a slave owner mentality. If you ain't going to play for us, you're not going to play for nobody. You know, and that's messed up because they could have let Calvin go somewhere. You know, they could have let you know, Barry go somewhere. They could have traded Ndamukong Suh. They lost him for nothing. For absolutely nothing. And, you know, that's just the way this organization is just, you know, it's just the way they're going to rock out. It's very unfortunate. They're probably going to stay pat. Would I be upset if they was buyers? Yeah, because buying means you're going to have to give up some draft capital next year. And that means that Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia more than likely going to come back. And also, that continues to mean if they're more than likely to come back, that Stafford going to be a quarterback next year and that you're going to just be running in place. So, I mean, it is what it is. You know, but, you know, in my opinion, they should kind of be sellers. If you know you're not bringing Galladay back, Marvin Jones ain't the future, Amendola ain't the future. You really can't trade Stafford unless it's just a critical injury in the system that he already knows. So maybe Jerry Jones saying, I ain't got that many years left, I need a quarterback. Who knows what's going to happen, man. But, you know, the worst thing they can do is be buyers. If they stay packed and they lose these guys for nothing, I mean, so be it. But, hey, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Don't forget, we on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. All my social media links in the description. If you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request, hit me up. Want to make a donation to the channel, share the video. Best way to do it. That's the best way to help the channel out. Also hit that subscribe button, bell icon button. But if you want to make a financial donation, Cash App is in the description. CJ Good 313. PayPal link is there as well too. Appreciate the love, support. Check out Detroit Lions Talk playlist if you missed it. Also did Atlanta Falcon Lion prediction video this week. I did it last night. So appreciate the love, support. We gone.